Alright, should be recording. I just want to see the file. There it is, and hopefully this will all work perfectly. It might not, but in a weird way. So, the past 2 weeks, well, starting 2 weeks ago, was having problems with my audio interface, my USB audio interface, which is what the microphone goes into, and, sorry, I just got a text I wanted to reply to. But it's also what was providing the output. Basically, it was the sound device to the speakers. Last week I replaced it. I ordered a new one, and have replaced it. But last week I just used my headset because different audio device wasn't a problem. So I now have a Zoom, not like the video calling Zoom, different company, UAC232. Which has a neat feature that I'm not using at the moment. I don't think OBS supports it, but there's also some weirdness going on that I've contacted Zoom about. Hopefully we can get that addressed. But it is a different audio interface, obviously, different company. And yeah, it has some nice features to it. The one that I'm not using, it supports 32-bit, and here we can actually hit continue and start loading in. It supports 32-bit recording. So normally you'll see with audio like 16-bit or 24-bit. And this is a measure of the precision that can be used for recording anything, okay? The precision that can be used for the, I have no idea where I'm going. Okay, I'm going over there. How far? Half a kilometer, okay. So yeah, just, you know, how precise can you be? Which comes into play when you want to, like adjust the gain later, because if you have a very quiet signal, the distance between two adjacent sounds might be so small that if you turn the gain up, you will actually have a distortion from that. But that's also why you go from 16-bit to 24-bit. There's more positions between, more values between any two noises. 32-bit pushes that even further, but it's more so for a different reason. That it is really neat. Where it's like there are no gain knobs on the interface, okay? I have a knob for controlling the headphone and a knob for controlling the line out. I also have a few buttons. But that's it for the knobs. I would have to adjust the gain in software. Like, and I do have some software that, you know, for it that allows me to adjust the volume, to adjust the gain. That is there. But the part of the reason why that the gain isn't necessary, that you can adjust it later, is not only is it 32-bit, it's 32-bit floating point. So we're not just talking about, you know, it's like, oh, there's more steps between any two values. The range itself is almost arbitrary. I know I saw one thing actually giving what the ranges were, I don't remember, but I mean, it's a very big change. Now, in theory, 24-bit floating point or even 16-bit floating point, I think you'd want more so 24-bit, could also provide some of these same advantages. But I mean, it's like one thing you could do with this, and this is part of the reason why I decided on this instead of other interfaces, even though I'm not taking advantage of it at the moment. Because you can turn off 32-bit and run in 24-bit, which I think is all OBS would support anyways, 24-bit, is the hell? Is that in theory, you could just use this to record something, ignore what the gain is, and adjust it all in post, and it would be fine. Another way to put it is it's the dynamic range is absolutely massive, and it's not 24-bit and 16-bit. There is a firm top and bottom. Floating point means it isn't firm anymore. The top and bottoms aren't so rigid. So it can really move up and down a lot, including that part of what they advertise is you cannot clip. Like, no matter how loud I am with 32-bit, it wouldn't go past that 0 dB. That would understand the difference, that there'd still be some there. So I could adjust the gain, bring it down, and get out the detail. But it still is best if you can avoid gain. I mean, it is one of those, 32-bit is one of those things where it's like, really, you should just try to not need it, but it still is nice to have. And at some point, it may become really useful. Also, one thing I like is I have separate buttons that are very visible for the, because I use a condenser mic, which requires 48 volts of phantom power. I can turn that on with a button that also has an LED, so it's actually very convenient to work with, to look at. Whereas my old audio interface had a switch that was kind of obscured, just because of where it was positioned relative to the That didn't go quite how I wanted it to. Anyway, relative to where the plug was for the mic, it was hard to see. I mean, I could get there and I could tell if the red light was on. But with this, the button is just a lot easier to see. And it's also, I have for each, there's two inputs, two mic inputs, and there's one for each. So that's nice too. But yeah, so I'm hoping I'll be happy with it. It does have one weird thing though. And this is, I contact them because, now fortunately it didn't interfere with this game. Because if it did, that would have been quite a problem. Okay, no, I have to, they're all right here. So I'm just, I'm gonna try this one. Might be safer. It... Okay. The heck? I know I saw things back here. Enemies back here.
Cut, fucker! Holy fucking shit!
Oop. That's not what I wanted. That's what I want. So the issue that I've encountered that's rather annoying is it's like the device, it's like the drivers don't engage initially. So like, let's say I want to start playing a piece of music, and I open up, I tend to use VLC for that, just because I have VLC set to repeat. I don't have media player set to, but anyway, if I were to do that, it'll actually hang. It'll actually wait before it'll start playing, because like it needs to activate the device, and this makes no sense. Because Windows being set to just use the device should be all it needs, and it should be like always active, just basically waiting for when there is an input. Okay. Which is why I reached out to them, and I did hear one thing back. They wanted some more information. Essentially, if you've ever reported a bug in a game before, they asked me for what would be as near as I can think of for the equivalent to the DirectX diagnostics. That's not actually what they asked for, but it's, you know, close. And just some system information so they know, like, specifically what is the version of Windows I'm using. Stuff like that. Haven't done anything back since, but I mean, they can be busy, and I may reach out to them again. I like using email aliases for some stuff, and I did use it with this, and that could be confusing some things, because I can't, the way I have that set up, I cannot send from an alias. So I just set it to be like, the reply to is the alias. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. I bought it directly from them, and that's part of the reason why I did that, so I don't have my email address just floating around their system if that ever is leaked. I doubt it would be sold, because why would it be sold? But it still is a, you know, just in case, you can do it that way. And it's not like I specifically intend to do additional business with them. My needs are met at the moment, so it's, I don't need more. I don't need to do more. I'm just checking to make sure. I think I did get everyone. I want to get all the ammo I can, because this gun goes through it fast. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But it is also, they might just be a little slow, or they might be really trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Ah, fucking rebel!
There we go. I was hitting the button. I don't know why it wasn't taking it.
Fuck! How many pirates are on this boat?
A lot. There. But fortunately, I do have one workaround for most things, not while recording, though. Because while recording, I need to use the headphones. So the lag can be an issue there, since I only have a headphone jack, well, a controlled headphone jack off of the audio interface. I have that connected to an amp, though, a stereo amp that drives 2 speakers. And what I forgot is that I actually have the amp also directly connected to the computer, so I can just change the input on it. And that way, the Realtek audio device, the built-in one, that does just work without the issues, so I can leave it on that if I want to use the speakers, but I had to remove the headphone jack on the amplifier quite a while ago now, because it was faulty and was actually causing interference. I'm trying to remember, but it like certain things were being shorted in there, and it's like, yeah, that was not good. I just realized something. I might have a skill point. I don't. Okay, I was really hoping I did, because then I could grab that. Wait, how close am I? Oh, I'm pretty close. I'll get that after this mission, probably. Wait a minute. Why didn't I get my arrows back? Huh. Okay. It's not that big a deal, but it's annoying. So yeah, hopefully that will be... This issue will be addressed with the laggy the laggy initial start of playback. So it's also like with a YouTube video. It'll actually cause the video to hang for a while until it, like, the audio device is working again, and then it will stop playing. Which is so weird, so awkward. Alright. I don't think anyone could have become alerted from that. I don't remember, though, if this is one of the games with telepathic bad guys or not. Some games are like that. Some games are. Oh, and one other thing I just remembered about the audio interface. I haven't yet gone through... I think I've adjusted the levels where I want them to be, but I may need to adjust the scripts for the processing. So that I'll be doing, like, with this video, because I haven't had the time to do... to do the experimentation to get that stuff figured out. Though that does also remind me of something. Okay. It's just telling me I need to interact with that. Just the experimentation, all that, I need to do stuff. I have finished collecting data with The Witcher 3, version 4.03. I have not gotten to writing. I am not entirely sure when I'll be able to get to that, or how much I will be able to, or how long it will take me. But I have collected that data, and it is somewhat different from the 4.01, the older data I have, so it will be interesting going through that. It will be fun going through that, too. Right, I think
that knife's on this computer.
I think that's enough of that stuff, so I can... What have I written out to talk about? I can get to that.
That compass must be important. Maybe it'll lead to the knife.
Hurry up, you piece of crap!
Are you kidding me? Gotta get out of here.
Good. You should do that. Making those seals will
That's not gonna hold.
slow the sinking. At least until stuff like that happens. I only have 2 things noted. I know Computex was going on this week. I've had a busy week though, so some of that stuff I definitely missed. I know I saw plenty with Intel, AMD, and Nvidia all announcing stuff concerning work with AI, but also, to be honest, some of that I don't care about. I mean, it's like they're trying to hype things up and saying, hey, you know, you want to buy our products because our products will do this stuff better than anyone else's. And yeah, because it'll do better the hype stuff that you're talking about. I'm sorry, it's just I can't help but see a lot of the AI stuff as just hype. And it's, yeah. Because, I mean, it also seemed like, what was it, last week or was it during this week? When, that's impressive doing with your elbow, especially since that should have been neutral. Like he wouldn't have had pressure, water pressure helping one way or the other with breaking that. But yeah, because like one of the things I saw NVIDIA... oh, wait, hang on, we gotta deal with this guy who wants the knife.
Jason. Rise and shine. Come on.
No, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, mate. But get the fuck up! Come on! There you go. You find my prize yet?
It wasn't on the boat.
Oh, Jason. Keith is going to be very disappointed. He looked uncomfortable last I saw him.
Why are you telling me this?
Entertainment, my dear, entertainment. Did you happen to find a compass? Excellent, very good. Now, research says, follow the compass.
Thanks for your help.
Anytime. Now, you can handle being on your own, some. Keith needs me. All right? Toodles.
All right. Yeah, so a lot of the AI stuff I fully acknowledge I did not look closely at because, as I was saying, it's so much of it is just hype. And I think that what I was saying is either this past week or last week, there was something where like Nvidia's stock value went up so much, and what I'd seen, and I didn't look too closely, I fully acknowledge that, so my interpretation might be wrong, but it was, I want to say it was along the lines of Jensen Huang? Is that pretty sure that's NVIDIA's CEO's name. It's been a while since I've looked at. I've had a busy week. I've had busy so many months. Anyway, I was just talking about how, oh yeah, AI is really great and we'll be involved in that. And it's like, oh, suddenly stock values shoot up. It's like, this is one of those things where I understand why people don't like the stock market. Because it's like, you can say something, not necessarily do something, just say something, and suddenly people want to spend more money on you. It's like, that, yeah. But it was also, they did announce a whole bunch of stuff at Computex. But some of it is I don't think that actually is gonna be as desirable as people think. Like, one thing was, and I didn't talk about these because it's also, some of these would be well enough into the future that I don't think it's worth caring about just yet. I mean, it's sort of like how, when was DLSS 1 announced? And it's only now, really, that there's, well, no. That's a bad example. Ray tracing is a better example. It's like with Turing, the RTX 20 series, with ray tracing, but it's like only now with the 40 series that you're actually seeing hardware that it's like, oh yeah, you can turn this on without having to turn every other setting down. Which does remind me, I actually managed to find a decent configuration for ray tracing with the RTX 2080. The 2060 is a lost cause in that regard, but the 2080, it basically, the way I'd put it for now, because I haven't written everything up yet, and also this isn't the time or place, basically the RT preset in The Witcher 3, the ray tracing preset, I don't think is a well-constructed preset. If you don't have all the other settings at Ultra Plus, you turn those down to high and some lower, you can actually get a pretty good, an acceptable experience on just the RTX 2080. So that level of ray tracing masterization performance, it's like it's a lousy preset, but the actual you can get good performance there without having to turn to any of the upscaling methods available to it.
What the fuck? If you knew where I was supposed to go, why didn't you just tell me?
Jason, don't get your knickers in a twist. I'm not playing the bloody game you are. I'm just a spectator here. But I expect a good show, eh?
Get out of the way.
Well, no. Not before I give you a history lesson. You ready for this? Listen to this now. Imagine, consider if you will, this monumental testament to irony. The bloody chaps. Like, they form a special unit of, to try and find, like, lost treasure and riches to feed their empire. But the wankers don't realize that this... You're building a bloody thing right over the fucking stuff they're looking for. Well, come on, ask me. What are they looking for, Buck?
No.
I should cane you for that. I really should. But you know what I won't? I'll cane Keith instead. Thereafter, the Chow fucking Yang. This flagship that used to belong to this famous Chinese general called Zheng He. The bloody thing. He just fucking disappeared. With tons of riches on it, including, my fucking knife. That's it. Look after yourself, eh? History lesson's over.
How would there be a picture? Oh wait, no, because it was a picture from the expedition did find.
Motherfucker.
Okay, I was gonna ask, how do we have a picture of the knife? Yeah, one of the things that was talked about that I saw with the NVIDIA stuff was using generative AI, which basically just means it's something that is a little bit better at regurgitating the information it's got than some others. How am I supposed to... here it is. Okay. Where it's like, it can run on the GPU and thereby be used in games. And it's like, I don't really care. I mean, it's like the Alien GPT that's being used, that's offered in Galactic Civilizations for Supernova, that's one thing. But this, it's like, what are you talking about that you'd be doing that would need the power of a GPU there? I mean, it's like, yeah, the alien portraits that it can generate in that game, great. But... oh, I need to just do it this way then, okay. But... seriously, I'm just losing the arrows? That's no fun. But, I mean, it's like, what else are you going to be doing? Are you talking about, like, generating textures and such? Because the other stuff, like, Stardock is using it for generating new missions, for powering interactions. It's like, yeah, that makes some sense, but it's also, that's something... Well, they're in part doing it with, I don't remember the name of the engine, but it's, like, partially cloud-based. So it's actually phoning home to get some of it. But I could also see some of that being run locally on a CPU. That it doesn't need to be that extravagant that you need a GPU. And the stuff that doesn't need a GPU, I don't know if I'd want that. It's like, I would actually kind of hate the idea if it's like, this texture right here is being generated for me live by the GPU, because it's like, you know, why should the GPU power be going to that instead of rendering the actual scene? And just have a human artist that at least approves the stuff that goes into the game. I mean, I don't know what purpose would be served by the ability to generate assets like that at the point of play. I don't know. But as I said, it's been a busy week, so I didn't look fully into that. I did look, and this I did put into the Friday write-up, which I'll be putting up after I finish this video. They have improved their ultra-low motion blur technology, so ULMB, which is basically just a fancy kind of backlight strobing.
Get it, Joe. Get it, Joe. Shut up, bitch. I'm the man here.
I think I can do this. Yep. And I immediately looted his body, too. So, yeah, it's backlight strobing. The idea is pretty simple. It takes some time for a pixel to change color. Got it. Damn it. But would you mind changing guns when I hit the button to do so? I'm just gonna be killed, I think.
I'm a big wound of pain.
I see him there. So yeah, it takes a while for a pixel to change its color, which shouldn't, you know, surprise anyone, because it is a mechanical change that's happening. It's not an electrical one. Well, even electrical would take some time, but it would be faster. So it's having to make that change, and what backlight strobing does, by any name, whether it's NVIDIA's solution or somebody else's, is it means that the backlight is off during part of that change, so you don't actually see the change happening, or you don't see as much of the change happening. But apparently the original implementation of ULMB from NVIDIA wasn't, it couldn't be necessarily at the monitor's full frame rate, full refresh rate, so they've addressed that, and it sounded like... They also did something else that's kind of neat. So, because... And this may sound like, no, that can't be it. No, it is true. And it's easy enough to see based on VSync. Well, the need for VSync, I should say. Is that even though, technically, a monitor can address any and all portions of the screen at the same time, and there's actually part of the DisplayPort spec that specifically enables this, but it's typically only used on laptops, where instead of updating the entire image, it'll basically just send the difference in information. Anyway, despite that capability, you it actually scans out from top to bottom, specifically left to right, top to bottom. Where does that come from? CRTs. We have not been using CRTs for displays for so long, but that is still a part of how it all functions. So what NVIDIA has also added to ULMV2, and it makes sense because this is all going to be part of their G-Sync monitors, is it will actually use G-Sync to tell what the frame rate is and time when the backlight should turn on based on what the frame rate is. So it will wait until the top half of the screen essentially has been, there we go, has been cleared, well, has changed, and when most of the bottom half has also been changed, because you wouldn't want it to happen too soon, so it's only the top half and not the bottom half that has changed, because then you would just, it would be like you had screen tearing all over again, right? So yeah, now it is still, you cannot have both the G-Sync and this on at the same time. I would assume they are working on that, because it seemed that would be desirable. Well, it might also be too difficult. Because that kind of... It might be too difficult because the variations might make it too hard to make sure you're getting the right timing and everything. Oh. Wait. I needed to follow this guy in the dream, didn't I? Like, was there a monkey in the dream? Anyway. That's backwards. Now my brain is partially turned off. Hate it when that happens. But, yeah, it is... Well, that's not good. It is still an interesting technology, even if it is a... is something of a... I like AMD better for various things. So say I would go more for a FreeSync monitor than G-Sync, but there, no, where is it? There it is. And say I like the AMD drivers better. I like the Radeon Chill feature. I like that stuff, so I'd probably keep to an AMD GPU, which means I would want to be in the AMD monitor ecosystem. But it's also, I'm not in any rush to upgrade that stuff.
Okay, Jason, channel Indy. Bet I could press that seal. It worked!
You know what, hang on, I'm gonna do something that I'm pretty sure works. Yeah. It's like, just use it. Oh, maybe I didn't need it. Yeah, it seems I didn't. Oh well. Oh, wait, no, maybe I do need it.
I need to reach that ledge. 2 switches. Easy.
But yeah, it's still I because the ULMB2 was something that was like, yeah, that'll be more interesting to people right now.
It's rotten.
That's why I wanted to include that in the Friday write-up, not the and not some of the AI stuff. That's also talking about stuff that, you know, it'll only be relevant eventually, maybe. So but I still have the thing. I can look through that email when I'm through this. And I can also still, you know, add more to the write-up. Yep. The only other piece of news I actually put into the notes I have for this is Devolver Digital has announced their return of Volvi livestream, which is this year's marquee marketing thing from Devolver. For those of you that don't know, Devolver Digital is a very unusual publisher, and they once a year, mocking E3 essentially, would do their own special event that was just silly and stupid. More silly than stupid, but yeah. Last year's involved basically the collapse of the time-space continuum, or rather the marketing and IP continuum, so that now all these different things were being, like, there was an Animal Crossing with Splinter Cell, I think it was, thing. I mean, it was definitely weird, that one, and rather amusing to watch because of the silliness. So it does seem like Volvi, because they were talking about how, you know, your favorite mascot for 30 years in all these games, and it's like he's never existed before. Apparently he is born of that stuff, of those changes. I mean, they have their own cinematic universe, essentially, but it's a once-a-year marketing universe. Devolver Digital is weird. But that is June 8th.
How do you keep finding me?
At 3 p.m. Pacific, I believe?
I know. Well, you're leaving a trail of human breadcrumbs, mate. Even fucking Keller could keep up with you. Not that I mind the body count. You coming up? Come on, give us a hand.
I don't have your knife, all right?
No. Jason, that's not all right. It's just a little fucking knife that I asked you to get me, but you're too bloody incompetent, too fucking lazy to get it for me. Too busy playing games, aren't you? Oh, fine. I just gotta play a game of pin the tail and the donkey with keys.
The only thing I found was this ring. I bet it fits on the compass.
I don't know, go on, stick it in then.
This is some magical shit.
My heart's a flutter in anticipation. I'll see you around, Jace.
You know where I'm supposed to go, don't you?
Oh, mate. Just know where you're headed.
All right. It's over there. Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff down there. I just want to head up here. Well, yeah, head up here first, so I can like reload on things. But yeah, the Devolver Digital stuff. I mean, it's Devolver Digital is weird, but at the same time, they do a lot of really, because they primarily do like indie games that they publish. Sorry, I'm just really thinking. Sure. That'll probably prove useful. But yeah, Devolver, while as weird as they are, there's a lot of games that they do publish that are not, well, some might say they're still a little weird. Gris is a little weird, but it is also a really beautiful game. And published by the same company that did Genital Jousting. Yeah, that's Devolver there though. That's Devolver. You might as well top that off. Grab this and make up the syringes. That's actually kind of neat. Let me craft one of those. Sure. I mean, it doesn't indicate that there's a timer on it. Let me just... Oh, do wait. Okay. Oh, it's over on this side. I was looking over here. Let me go back. No, there isn't. So in theory, I would just have that until it's gone. That actually could be really nice. Anyway. Brain turned off again. But yeah, so I am looking forward to the Devolver Digital stuff. I mean, it's like, they also... Yeah, let me... Loop Hero was another one of their games where they had some fun with that. Because they actually... The announcement they used for that was to also say that it was announcing it as the game of the year. This is... Like, they announced the game's existence, declaring it's the game of the year. And it actually was a very good game, so some people were like, well, they may have called it. And there were other better games that year, but it was still a very good game. Alright. Okay, yeah, I remember this. This location. Yeah, we can take the bridge over. Because I think I remember where I am. But, yeah, I can't really think much more. I'm just... Devolver Digital is one of those publishers that basically needs to exist because you need some of the smaller, more unusual indie games to have a chance. That is the way I would put it. They need a chance at getting publishing, getting the funding, getting the marketing that they need. And that's exactly what Devolver enables for a lot of them. Now, true, there's many indie publishers. Many. But it is still good that, I mean, I don't know how you could really pitch, oh, that I didn't even notice. Okay. And I can purchase, you know what, maps, let's... If I gotta spend money, let's do it this way. And I don't think I have any use for this. Because as I recall, I've already collected all that I need for,
blew up my boat, but I survived. They killed my husband. I was a doctor before they threw me in a sinking cell.
for crafting. It's just the special stuff, which requires going on certain missions. So yeah, I am looking forward to the Devolve Digital thing, which I'm sure I already said. Now, what else was there from this week? Honestly, I mean, I didn't get too much. Actually, I don't think I had anything except for the NVIDIA stuff for Computex. Which isn't too surprising. It's a bit more of a tech trade show. Unlike E3, which is more of a, was more of a game trade show, so there would be stuff for consumers there. And even CES, because it is consumer electronics. It is technically a professional trade show, but there is also it's part of its purpose is to show off consumer products. But Computex isn't quite that, as I recall. At least not in the same vein. I was seeing stuff about, I think it was, yeah, that actually probably was a Computex thing. Asus announcing, or at least teasing a, basically something I've been saying that we should be doing for years now. But I don't want Asus doing it. I want PCI SIG doing it. The regulatory body behind the PCIe spec. Which is they've basically added an additional PCI type connector to the back of, I think it was a 4070? I don't remember what kind of graphics card it was. But then also the slots for it on a special motherboard, where the idea is all of the power is provided through the slot. So there's no additional power connectors on the graphics card. And this is something I've been saying for a while, that it's like PCI SIG should be trying to, instead of like, hey, let's add this new 12-pin connector, they should have been, hey, let's up the power to the PCIe slot from 75 watts to, I mean, even if you only doubled it to 150 watts, which is not unreasonable, but if they were to do that, there's a lot of GPUs then that wouldn't need an additional power plug, or would only need like a 6-pin. If they could hit 300, that would be even better. And again, not necessarily unreasonable. It would mean you'd have more power to the motherboard, but then the whole 12-volt high power, isn't that the name of the actual meaning to the acronym for it? That's kind of what the idea is there. Which the premise to that standard is the motherboard is basically past only 12 volts, not 12 volts, 5 volts, 3.3 volts. Just 12 volts, and it has circuitry to adjust the voltage as needed for the various components that need those. Because it was basically saying, why do we have... Because I think it was even that some of the stuff... Like, even the 12 volt is converted anyway. So it's basically saying, well, instead of having the power supply also do this, just put it on the motherboard. And allow the power supply to send a single standard of power, which could then be cleaner and more of it. But anyway, yeah, it's just... It's also fine to me because I could imagine that a lot of data centers would love to have a single slot that can provide 300 watts of power, because that's a lot less cable management they need to do. Yes, you would need to run cables to the motherboard to supply additional power, and the Asus board did have like a couple 8-pins, I think, on the back of the motherboard. They also moved all of the power connections to the back of the board, including the 24-pin. Or is it 8-pin that's the 18-pin for the... I don't remember how many pins it is for the 12-volt thing, but yeah. They moved those, which I'm not sure I like. The idea of putting it on the back of the motherboard. I mean, I like it for some of the cable management aspects, but I don't like it because there are some cases then that it wouldn't work in, or at least might not. So There are other things I would do first, but one thing I will add, though, with why I would want PCI SIG in on this instead of Asus doing it, is they had to add these additional connectors and basically a short PCIe type slot behind the main one, which means it's taking up space that could be for various other connections like an M.2. I mean, not to say that, oh, well, we need all the M.2, but but I am saying that I do believe that a future for some of the consumer parts, the consumer motherboards and such, should include muxers that will take like PCIe 5, double it, well, mux it down to double the number of PCIe 4 lanes, or even quadruple the number of PCIe 3 lanes. I would use it. I would love that. Because that would then mean I would need whatever to break it out, but that could then go to so many more NVMe. So many NVMe drives. Or to, looks like I already got that somehow. Or to a whole bunch of SATA drives. Because one thing with the server that I have set up here, I would love to just have a whole bunch of SATA drives in there. I don't need the speed, I want the capacity. And being able to get a lot of capacity cheap, because like 4 4TB hard drives are cheaper than 1 16TB. It's like, that would be awesome. So like I'd seen one thing, and I'm gonna leave it paused while talking about this. It's like a full-length, full-size PCIe card. So 16 lanes there, but it can hold 21 NVMe M.2 drives. Now, each of those should be trying to take 4 lanes. So that's 44 lanes at once, it's only being fed 16. That's fine. I wouldn't care. Because that's still a lot of storage, and that's really what I would want there. Because with the right pairing in there, of like certain things being mirrored, certain things not. I mean, if the ZFS kind of file system stuff there, and how you can have mirroring or RAIDs in there. Well, Z RAIDs. Or RAID Zs, rather. That would be awesome. It's like, I don't need all the speed, but I can have all this capacity that can then go to still saturating the connection and substantial data security. That's awesome. I don't know why it seems like no company is interested in providing that to a consumer in that way. It's like, no, they want more speed. It's like, no, we don't just want speed. Like, that's part of the reason I'm really looking forward to replacing the desktop in like 2 years.
Personally,
and filling this thing up with drives.
It's not in it anymore. But Chase, don't worry. Look at Keith. Keith just cries all the time now. I'm a bit of a drag.
Just shut up.
No. We've got a little history lesson for you. Listen up. Remember Zing He with his treasure ships out trying to collect riches for the Mings? Remember him? Yes, Mr. Buxer, of course I remember. Answer that like that, right? When I ask you a question, answer me back, all right? Well, fucking Zing He, he's got this captain called Lin Kong. And Lin Kong goes fucking AWOL with his ship's hold at the Chengyang full of Barclays, right? And he settles right here, enslaves all the locals, but Zing He, fucking Zing He sinks his little empire in just a few years. What do you think happened to the treasure? Very good question, young Jays, very astute. Well, the treasure, nobody knows where it is. It's not on the boat anymore. And Lin Kong, our fucker's nowhere to be found. Treasure hunters have been after that crap ever since. Even the bloody chaps tore the island apart looking for it, but nobody knows where it is. So best not dawdle, Chase. Chin up. Good luck.
Because, it's only first generation Threadripper, so it's only PCIe 3, but it still is. I've got, 64 lanes I have access to in this thing? Oh yeah, I'm gonna have fun with that. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with it all. I mean, the 6TB drive in the server, I think I only am now at about 20% full, and that's got so much on it. It's probably not even 20%. But some of that is not just the media stuff, that's also like, the media for old reviews. I've got backed up on that. Because that's just an appropriate spot to back it up.
Everyone's at it. None of those assholes ever stuck around for good. This place is
But it's, you know, with this... Now, true, I might need something that would break out the, Okay. Whoops. I may need something that would break out to additional SATA ports, but... But it still is... That's something that would be really neat. The heck? I actually lost. I went from 18 to 17 randomly on the number of arrows. That was just weird. Anyway. This, I think, will be the easiest. Here we go. But it's like, you know, I could put in so many additional drives. And it's also got so many PCIe lanes for NVMe drives, too. Yeah, I could really do a lot of fun stuff with that, and I'm looking forward to it, but it will be a while. Because it's like, I'd like...
For barbecue right now.
I think Zen 5, not Zen 4, for Threadripper. And I've explained this in the previous recording, that that's really just a, I want to make sure kinks are worked out. The Zen 4 kinks are worked out, which the Zen 5, I'm hopeful that will be the time. In part because I am hopeful, and maybe I shouldn't be with Threadripper. I think that the reason why some wouldn't be is very specific, though, so I'm not too concerned there. I think that AMD will try to have that Threadripper platform for a while. So, like, it would be the same motherboard, newer chipset, potentially with Zen 5, but that Zen 5 would have the platform figured out. Now it is, I know some people would point out, well, not both of the Threadripper platforms thus far only lasted 2 CPU generations, which is not much.
Sniper's gotta take this slow.
Oh, that's annoying. I don't even know how they spotted me. But, give me this. So yeah, but I do think that part of the reason the platform changed, that I don't think it's necessarily fair to hold it against AMD. That X399 was abandoned, that's what I'm on, and crap, what was the name of the other one? The second one.
search the area. Why are there bodies here?
It's like part of the reason X399 would have been is it went from PCIe 3 to PCIe 4. And while you could have some backwards compatibility, it wouldn't surprise me that they were like, yeah, but we need to do other changes. So rather than so, you know, would just go to something new, because they also had to then like use more pins to support the bandwidth of PCIe 4. There also would have been, is there anywhere up there? Oh, maybe this way. There we go. Nope. There it is. So yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. And it was somebody, I don't remember who it was, but somebody did do a socket comparison between those two, the two Threadripper platforms, and it was very different, the number of pins, the number of additional pins being used, and the layout of stuff. So it's like, yeah, they were kind of stuck there. They, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you could just say it, if somebody would argue that it was, they weren't expecting Threadripper to succeed quite like that, so they didn't develop the thing, the socket as forward-looking as they should have. Which I could also see somebody saying that, well, what about AM4? And it might be AM4, they may have figured that, hey, we might be able to achieve this. I mean, Threadripper was... I remember somebody sharing the story that it was basically they had no intention of doing that, but someone was like, you know, we can, and a team decided to just like start on their own working on that, seeing if it would be possible, and then presented it, and it was like, alright, we'll do it then. Like, it was added late in the process. Very late in the process. But that was also, you know, a testament to the flexibility of Zen and the Zeppelin die, that it could be, that you could just come up with a completely new product through the components that they had come up with.
Where'd you go?
I see them. I gotta bring the roof down.
Quick it! Come on! I'm moving! I'm gonna eat Whoa! Let's see what you got!
Come on. There we go.
You're mine, shithead!
I think that's it. Yeah, the music has calmed down, so that is it. But yeah, because for me, the way I have used my desktop, and will continue to use it, it's like I want the high core count. I don't really use the PCIe connectivity that much, but once I am able to like build it into a server, oh yeah, I'll be using all that connectivity that I can. yeah, I mean, it's like right now, what I would do with the server I have built, the one upgrade that well, one of two upgrades. I don't know which I'd want to do. I need to find out if I could connect a 5 1/4, like an optical drive into the thing, and then share that so I can, like, put a Blu-ray drive in there, put a disc in that, and then access it from the desktop. That would be awesome, especially since so many cases today just lack any 5 1/4 base, or sometimes any base at all. Oh. I can't craft a larger rucksack. Oh, I didn't realize I was full on this.
Yeah, this isn't creepy.
But it would either be trying to do that if I could share the drive in that way. Right there. Oh, I need blues for that. Okay, so yeah, I will actually start trying to pick those up, because that's really neat how that works. Not really. Or I would, like, stick in a... Well, actually, no, maybe it wouldn't be a 6 terabyte. Maybe it would be a larger drive to mirror the current 6 terabyte 2. So there's some data security there, even though it's just media files, really, so it's not that big a deal. If there is some corruption. But it could do that. Whereas, what I would do for a new desktop, where it's like, yeah, I can just spend all the money I want. I would want, like, 2 NVMEs that can be mirroring each other, so there's redundancy there. Or at least, 2 where it's like one is operating system, one is programs and games. Then, like, 2 SATA SSDs that are larger, but 2 there, and these, again, those I actually more so would want connected to each other. And potentially one... Well, I'd potentially use that then for, like, recording 2, and then some SATA drives behind those that would be much larger, and could actually, like, take backups of all of them if I wanted to. But to, like, hold the stuff where it's like, yeah, that's just long-term data storage. I would love to do something like that. And Threadripper would let me do that. But it's also with this, my current desktop, in theory, I could build something like that in TrueNAS scale with ZFS for the mirroring and such. Okay, I think I need to go through there first, but I'll still... What can I... Yeah, let's... I really don't need amber, which is the yellow. I also don't need the red. I mean, they can come in handy, but it's like if I need to get rid of something, those are fine for me to get rid of. I'm just really curious about this, because is it water? I mean, this does suggest I can climb up. Okay, it is water. Okay, so it wasn't... It was just so dark I couldn't really tell. Why not? Hey, I just realized, how long have I been going? I think it will be after this mission. You just stop. I'm already past an hour. Okay, I did not realize that. I've been rambling. But it's also, this is like my first real test of recording with the new thing. I mean, I've done some, like just making sure OBS is hooked up to it, which doesn't really require much, to be honest. It's like, do you see the levels? Yes, okay, it's working. So yeah, this will be the first one where I'm actually like messing with things. Oh, I can't. Oh yeah, I knew that. I knew. There. It's also, it has been enjoyable, just, you know, doing this progression, I'll be honest as well. About that, you know, just, I don't really mind how long I've been spending in it, so, in this game. It is a good game, so, yeah.
Why do I get a bad feeling about this?
But yeah, with this, with the desktop, I'm not entirely sure, because I'll be honest, the media server aspect and backing things up, that's really all I use the server for, and probably all I use any server for. But it still would be really nice to have it where there's just so much more capacity there. I mean, I would probably still always reprocess, like, the movies. But if I knew I had a significant amount of capacity, I would probably go to higher bit rates then. Because, like, what the hell? Why not? I have the storage.
Well, not getting out that way.
I could also back up some things in a different way. So it's like recording, like backing up this recording to that before processing, just to like ensure that it's not lost or anything, even though it would be completely temporary. It's like that would ultimately be deleted. It's like I could do things like that too. Okay, I am... Let me just look. Undying Bear. So, and it's Path of the Hunter quest, so I would just need to find these things to do. But that can probably be what I try to do next week. So ignore story progression, just do that stuff. Because I think at this point I'm powerful enough to make that viable.
Another piece of the compass.
I can also investigate more of the signature weapons, seeing what I need for that. Because like one of them I know is, that would actually be kind of nice, would be the I need to get more relics. There's also one that I have to do the leaderboard stuff, which I honestly don't particularly care for myself, and I'm not sure how well it would work anyway. But just like doing them is enough to get some should be enough to unlock some weapons. I would need to look. I mean, the main thing I would want would be the signature assault rifle, because that's the most plentiful ammo in the game.
You put a tracker on me, didn't you?
Well, you're my favorite pupil.
Hey, stay away from me.
Are you calling the shots now, eh? Is that what you're doing? Hector, apparently I'm no longer calling the shots, so dismantle everything and split Keith open from gut to chin.
Wait,
will you?
wait!
Hold on. What was that, mate?
You're calling the shots.
Hector, good news. Apparently I'm back in charge. Yes, don't gut Keith. No. So, any close to finding me knife yet? Hmm?
I'm almost there, I think.
Almost there, sir.
What, are you serious? All right, almost there, sir.
Go on, put the compass piece in. Right then. I'll start off then, shall I? Keep safe.
Right. You know, well, okay, hey, let me save. Alright, now... Okay, so it's, like, those are what I need to do for some of the stuff. But there's also... yes, the trials. Those unlock something too. But yeah, so it's like maybe next time I will focus on doing these. I could also do those. I'm saying I can do any of those. And I think that they can all unlock things. I mean, just to be certain. There. Hopefully I remember next week. Here. Actually, I should be able to find it. Let's try that one. The hard part is just finding the list of signature weapons. But anyway, assault rifles. Supported attachments, that would not be it. I'm looking for would be ones I already have attachments on there. Okay, so that's not it. It's not the MS-16. In fact, I should already have that. Ah, okay. The P416 is a signature assault rifle. It's called the Bushman. Okay, I would need to activate all 18 radio towers, which means I would need to go into the south portion. I've been putting that off, though. Okay, so then that would not be accessible. Unless I do decide to just do it anyway. I don't remember this. Huh. Special Predator recurve bow. No. Just what are all the signature weapons? All I want. I'm not doing this. One of the things that came up was a IGN link, and I don't like using IGN because they are so obnoxiously script heavy, and I use no script, so most of the stuff is turned off. Okay, here's a different one. Okay, so there's a handgun called the Cannon. Apparently you can unlock that through, I should actually already have it, through the Uplay store directly. Tribal knife I already have. The Shredder, that's what I've got. The AMR, that's a sniper rifle. 20 relics. Okay, I found some, so trying for more of that would be good. So that would be a lot more powerful than what I already have. Because it would combine various things. So the scope doesn't look like that has a suppressor, though. But it is an explosive penetrating round. Be very powerful. The Shadow, I've already seen that. The Bull is a shotgun. I feel like I might already have that. The Ripper is an LMG. Although, hold on, what does the Bull take? 10 relics. The Ripper LMG must participate in 6 trials of the Rakyat, which can be done near the beginning. Okay. The Bushman, 18 radio towers, I already know that. Japanese Tanto, so that'd be changed to the knife. Finding 6 letters of the lost. And I'm sure about that, but yeah, so I think I will be trying to next time, and my brain just turned off. I hate that. The hunting missions, though, so I can do more of the crafting stuff. And I can also look into some of this other stuff to get more of the signature weapons, because those will be nice. Those will be very nice to have. Alright, at least some of them. For how I play, certain ones are better. The vector thing that I've been using, that's awesome. Because it's a high rate of fire, it is powerful, like a headshot kills. And it's silenced. I was like, it's a very good weapon. It's the only issue is the lack of ammo for it. That's why I want the assault rifle, but that would take me exploring the whole island, and I'm intentionally putting that off. So I'll have to look at some of the other stuff, or just do the crafting. So yeah, but that's what I'm thinking for next time. Almost an hour and a half. Well, I have been having fun, and hey, this will also give me plenty of audio to work with to see how much I need to manipulate the scripts, how much I need to change the scripts to work with the new audio interface. All right. See you next time.